Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, guys. Celtic Warband here, and welcome back to another battle in Total War Attila. In today's battle, we have the Hunnic hordes that have arrived at the gates of a small but well-defended Saxon city. The Huns have many warriors, but the Saxons know that there is no other choice but to hold out, for if they don't, everything that they hold dear will be destroyed. Can the Saxon warriors save their city from the torch? Let's go ahead and find out. Let's begin the army comps by taking a look at the defenders, which are the Saxons, commanded by myself, and right in front of us we have the glorious Saxon Lancers, ready to be called to battle at a moment's notice. And the reason I brought these guys is because they have a pretty disgusting charge bonus of 237, so I have 4 units of them, and they have triple gold chevron upgrades, so hopefully if a sally out opportunity does present itself, we will be ready to go. But the rest of my units are all divided into categories of 6, I would say, are most of my units. So it's easy to remember. I've brought 6 units of the Nordic Spearmasters here, which will be excellent in holding in those strategic choke points. I've got 6 units of the Nordic Pikemen, which will be good at... They won't be good on their own, because they'll be shredded by missile fire, but in tandem with a sword unit or a spear unit, they should do quite well. Over here, I kind of got them spread out all over the city, but I've got 6 units of the Nordic Axe Warriors, and the reason I chose these guys was for their charge bonus and that really high melee attack and melee damage. So being able to push them into those choke points and just tear the Hunnic infantry to shreds, hopefully we'll be able to turn the tide of the battle. I've got some sword units over here defending some choke points. I've got 6 units of the elite Nordic Warriors, tier 2. And then my more elite infantry over here, and I remember I could only afford 5 of these, so I don't have 6, I have 5, but 5 units of the Gasites, I think is how you pronounce it, and these are my very heavy tier 3 melee infantry. And then for my ranged units, I brought 6 units of the Slingers. They're not that good in melee, as you can see, barely any melee attack and melee damage, but they are very cheap and cheerful, so I was able to afford 6 of them without spending very much money. And they should get the job done. They've got pretty good ammunition, and the Huns aren't really heavily armored anyways, so they should do all right. And that pretty much rounds out my force, except for the general here, who is hiding in the trees, kind of close to the town center. I just don't want him to get killed by any stray artillery fire from the Huns, so he will be called to action once the bombardment phase is complete. But that rounds out the Saxon army, so let's go ahead and take a look at the Huns. And now let's take a look at the attacking forces, which are the White Huns, commanded by Brian MCP, and he has brought a lot of UIR warriors to the battlefield. A lot. Look at the amount of infantry that he has here. He's actually got 8 units of the UIR warriors, and then he has 8 units of the chosen UIR warriors. And you can see their stats are actually insane. 62 melee attack and 50 melee damage for the regular UIR warriors, and then 65 and 50 for the chosen UIR warriors. But the chosen UIR warriors, I think, have substantially more armor. Well, not even really more armor, actually. But they've got a bit more health as well. So, but you can see the difference here just in the unit modeling. So yeah, the UIR warriors just with the chainmail cuirass, and then we've got actual plate armor, it looks like, for the chosen UIR warriors, but also sword and shield. But this is the bulk of his force. He's decided to put almost all of his infantry on one side of the battlefield. He also has 4 units of the Spetzion archers here. And then he has his general over here, the Kindred of the Sun. Such a cool name for a general, and awesome looking shields as well. These models are just amazing. And then for his archers, he has UIR archers, so it's a lot of UIR warriors here. He's got 4 units of those archers there. But he didn't attack all from one side. He's got some smaller forces dotted around the city just to spread my defenses thin. He's got a smaller onager here, and I neglected to say he did have 2 larger onagers on this flank. And then he's got some of the Zionite spears here. I believe he has 6 total. He has 2 here, along with 2 units of Hunnic horsemen. And then we've got another little detachment here with 2 Zionite spears and 1 Hunnic horseman. And then if we run around to this side again, 2 Zionite Spears and 1 Hunnic Horseman. And finally, on the 4th side, he just has 1 lone Hunnic Horseman unit. But with this 1 unit, he has effectively completely surrounded the city, so there is no escape. I hope you guys are excited for this battle as I am. That rounds out the army comps, so let's go ahead and get to the battle. Alright guys, welcome to the battlefield, and as you can see we have a sally out from the Saxon Lancers going after a couple units of Zionite Spears that were left undefended. They were moving with their siege towers over to the other side of the battlefield, but they don't have any support from the Hunnic cavalry whatsoever, and what a huge charge from those Saxon Lancers into the Zionite Spears. You can see that we do have some reinforcements incoming, but these 2 Zionite Spear units are completely surrounded. I think there is another cavalry unit coming in from another side. Yes! And thus begins the battle. And who would have thought that the defenders would actually draw first blood by pushing out and going after these spears, but it was just too much of a tempting target. As I said, we do finally have some of the Hunnic Horsemen showing up, but it is too little too late. Those 2 units of spears have been destroyed. They did bring another couple units of Zionite Spears in, but the Saxon Lancers are already disengaging, and they're going to just pull back and head back inside the city. Now, I did take quite a few losses. Again, I was fighting spearmen, so you can see that a couple of the units are about down to half health, but nevertheless, they are returning to the city as heroes. And I believe that the Hunnic Horsemen have just disengaged because now they are actually in range of my towers. And I believe that one of the units does come back. No, I actually am wrong. This unit has broken completely. This unit may actually return. It does have 53 men remaining. But yes, a very good start for me. Now, I did cut out a pretty substantial skirmish phase, but I'll tell you exactly what you guys missed. The Hunnic player was being very, very smart about the use of his Spet Zion archers. It's such a tongue twister. But he had 2 units over here, and he actually destroyed an entire unit of my pikemen. You can see all the dead bodies there behind my Germanic Spearmasters, or my Nordic Spearmasters, sorry. But in turn, I actually caused quite a bit of damage to 2 units of his UIR warriors with my hurlers. Now, the hurlers have broken, but I believe I only used 1.5 units worth of ammo, and I already damaged quite a few of their units. But now we actually have the UIR warriors coming in. They're going to be challenging these Germanic Spearmasters in melee, or the Nordic Spearmasters, my apologies. And there we go, charging on in for the first actual fighting inside the city. Yes, the Germanic Spearmasters holding their ground in the face of overwhelming Hunnic numbers. But yeah, so actually all of his army was hidden from me during the start of the battle, so I actually had no idea that all of his troops were over here, and I think that's why he had some of his units scattered around other areas of the map, just to kind of spread my forces a little bit thinner. However, he was really passive, again, as I said before, coming over here and engaging in a prolonged skirmish phase before moving in, and it's given me a lot of time to readjust my forces. You can see I'm bringing some elite Nordic warriors in here just in time to hold those UIR warriors who have broken my Nordic Spearmasters, again with the help of the Zion archers firing over the walls. But you can see I've also got all of my cavalry over here because this is another pretty tempting target. They've got 1 unit of Hunnic Horsemen and then 2 units of Zionite Spears. So I'm going to be headed out there shortly, but I just want to make sure that this area of the battlefield is kind of under wraps. And look at this here, we've also got the UIR warriors coming in, but I charged in some of my axes, and this is where we're going to see a lot of that charge bonus take effect for the Saxons. Look at them just cutting them down. Oh my goodness, heads are rolling here. Even over here, slaughtering them as they retreat. Well done. That deserves a couple of drinks later on. But yeah, so these 4 units that were originally set up, again, 3 of them were already damaged by my slingers, but now we've got some more of the UIR warriors coming in, but I can easily hold him at these 3 choke points. But yes, I didn't want to miss this. Here we go. We've got the I always say Germanic, but the Saxon Lancers coming in over here. Doesn't look like the Hunnic horsemen are going to actually countercharge, so I should get a pretty solid charge here into the Hunnic horsemen. Yes, I did. The Zionite spears were dismounted from the artillery pieces, which is excellent. However, I got psyched out by my own cavalry. I thought we were going to the other side. But, however, the Zionite spears are still so thin because a lot of the unit is still dismounting the tower that them forming up really doesn't offer them much defense against the full-on cavalry charge of the Saxon Lancers. And I believe that Hunnic horseman has broken from the battle. Yes, it has. And these Zionite spears are just going to be completely annihilated outside the walls of this Saxon city. Again, trying to charge in some more reinforcements over there. They will do a lot of damage to my Saxon cavalry in prolonged melee. Again, this is not melee cavalry, it is just shock cavalry. So I probably should have been cycling them in and out a little bit more. But nevertheless, again, getting rid of 5 units outside the city with my 4 units of cavalry, that is pretty good. But let's go ahead and focus more on this side of the map, because this is where most of the fighting actually takes place. And I've actually moved forward some of my heavier Nordic Axe Warriors with some of my elite Nordic Warriors to try and hold this choke point here. Let's go ahead and zoom in and watch some of the fighting there. Push. Push, Nordic Warriors. Hold them back. Is this the general, by the way, that's in here? No, it's not. Okay, that's the Zion Archer. It looked very similar to the Kindred Sun unit, but no, he has his general further back. Yes, such a quick battle. We're already down to only 14 minutes left in the battle. You can also see that a lot of those archers are being a lot of the archer cavalry is being slaughtered by my heavy axemen there. They are just cutting those horse archers to pieces. And there they go. They're actually retreating from the battlefield. We've got our warrior there taking a look at the size of that Saxon. Oh my goodness, he stands like a full head above the rest of them. But are they breaking? Oh no, they're actually disengaging to move in against these archers here. That was a really good counter charge there. Those archers are going to be completely trapped, and I've also got some slingers that have used up their ammunition charging in from behind along with another unit of my axe warriors. And that is a unit of horse archers with full ammunition that is now caught behind the walls. Well, look at them being slaughtered by those heavy axes. Oh, but we have a counter charge here. What did he just charge in? I think some of his Hunnic cavalry. Oh no, another unit of Zion archers. Actually breaking or wavering my Nordic Axe Warriors here. That might actually save this unit from encirclement. So that was well done there. He's also pushing in with another unit of our warriors, and suddenly the flanker becomes the one who is flanked. But I don't really care too much about what's here. It's mostly just my Nordic hurlers that have used up their ammunition, and the rest of my units are just going to be pulling back. You can see I need another unit here to block this choke point, but I've got more than enough units here to hold on this left-hand side. And yes, my cavalry slowly making their way back inside the city. I don't know if this is one of the units that... oh no, this is the unit that came back from routing, so yes, I was correct. So we only destroyed 4 units and not 5. But look at this, we've also got the Gasites over here, and they should be able to unleash their Pila here in a second. I actually want to get a really nice shot of that as they throw in. Oh, they're not Pila, it's actually throwing axes. That is amazing. Look at them being tossed into the ranks of the Hunnic warriors here. I'm sure some of them meeting their mark. A lot of the Hunnic warriors are not heavily armored, so we should be doing quite a bit of damage. And yes, the cavalry is starting to fall there. And you can see that actually the cavalry is trying to push in and get my Gasites in melee so that they do stop with that brutal ranged weapon. Very, very intense there. Let's go ahead and put this back onto play. The Gasites are a really solid unit, and actually they have used up all of their ammunition there, so I am not too worried. But surprisingly, with that charge, their morale is not looking too hot. Again, the chosen UIR warriors are in here now, and their melee attack and melee damage was disgusting. So this is actually a really good matchup. The best that the White Huns have to offer versus the best that the Saxons have to offer. But we will hold them. I believe we did have some more reinforcements coming in. We've got, I believe this is just the Tier 2 Nordic Warriors. Oh no, that's my Spear Masters there. Excellent. So yeah, we should be able to hold them off for a little while longer. However, look at the flood of units coming over this way as well. A very small unit of Gasites is trying to hold back the Hunnic tide. Even more cavalry coming around, again straining the flanks of this overwhelmed unit. And then we've got the Warrior Warriors coming in to challenge them in melee as well. Let's go ahead and zoom out, make sure we're not missing anything else of this battle. Again, Attila battle's going so quickly. Would be good to maybe get rid of this cavalry unit, but I really just wanted to kind of focus in on this massive dash here. He is powering through a lot of my units, but here we go. I've got some Nordic pikemen, Nordic Spearmasters here to reinforce that flank, and I've got another unit of Nordic Spearmasters here. And I have a unit of Nordic pikemen, but it looks like the pikemen are being focused down by arrow fire as well. However, I'm going to push them into melee and try and hold this choke point for as long as possible. Let's zoom back in and enjoy some of the close-up fighting. Look at that, such a cinematic battle there. You can even see some of the kill animations there in the front lines, as the Warrior Warriors are cut down by the Gasites. Or Gasitas. Some of them actually routing from the battlefield, it looks like. They were pressured a little bit too much by those pikemen. But there we go. So the chosen Warrior Warriors definitely having the better stats in melee against my Gasites, but with the help of a cheap unit of pikemen, we have evened the odds. Let's zoom out and see how we're doing on the other side here. Again, I think we're holding pretty well. Again, with those pikemen just forcing the Huns back. Oh, but some of them being slaughtered by the chosen Warrior Warriors there. Oh, there we go, there we go. Come on, boys, hold. And what else is going on? So yeah, he only really attacked this one flank here, and now the balance of power is looking fairly even, and you can see that I do eventually start to withdraw some of these troops to the other side, especially my hurlers, since it doesn't look like he is going to be committing troops to any other side of the battlefield. I'm also bringing forwards my cavalry here as well. You can see them again, heroes that they are, riding victorious and bloodied through the streets. I'm sure that they will be looking for another opportunity to get some more kills for their people. But I have a lot of troops in reserve as well. I've got some pikemen over here. I think I have a whole nother row of elite Nordic warriors, and I've got 3 more of my Nordic Axe Warriors. Looking at the man count, I actually had more men than he did, just because he did field a decent amount of cavalry, I think 8 to 10 units. So it was 6,000 to 5,200. So the odds were definitely stacked against him as far as the man count goes, but it's only 3,400 to 2,100, so he is, as I said, just munching through a lot of my units here. And now that my Gasites have broken, I think that the pikemen are going to start to get overwhelmed if I don't push some more units in. But I've got a unit of Nordic Axe Warriors here with their Pila, just throwing their Pila into the chosen Warrior Warriors, getting a lot of friendly fire on that pikeman unit, but now that it's opened up, you can see a lot of them are getting hit in the flanks. Again, we've got the archers there, but yes, Huns just powering through my unit. All of my pikemen just being annihilated there. No mercy. Look at all of the bodies on the ground. This guy's got a Pila through his head, and he still thinks that he's going to make it out alive. Oh my goodness, the Huns being victorious there. But we need to charge in and get that charge bonus off with the Nordic Axe Warriors, because we've got the Zion Archers, the Horse Archers, just focusing us down, and we have next to no armor on these Nordic Axe Warriors. 7 minutes left, though, and here we go. Look at the cavalry once again breaking through here, actually trying to hit the archers in melee, but we have the Kindred Son, the general's bodyguard here for the White Huns, engaged against my very depleted units of cavalry. Let's take a look at where else I have engaged them. Yeah, so he was well prepared for this. A lot of his cavalry is here to make sure that my units don't get close to his archers, although there's not really much else that we need to defend from. A lot of his archers have used up all their ammunition. Got another unit kind of flanking around here. So the brave Saxon cavalry has kind of fizzled out, I would say. Maybe not the best option for me to charge all my cavalry in like that, but again, I'm just trying to put as much pressure on the rear of his lines as possible, and again, get him to not focus so much on this side of the battlefield. But let's actually just keep it on slow motion for one more charge here. Our warriors going in against those heavy Saxon axemen, and they are just trading beheadings back and forth here. And actually, it looks like the UR warriors are getting the better end of the deal there with that charge bonus. Come on, boys. Come on. Caught them down. Look at this guy, like, completely surrounded. Look how massive he is compared to the UR warriors. Oh, but he was taken down, unfortunately. Oh, this guy's swinging in, though. He's swinging in, knocks out the shield. There we go, and just cuts him down before dying himself. Meanwhile, right over there, we have one of my warriors without a head. Let's see what happens with this guy here. It's like 4v1. Yeah, he was slaughtered there. There was no chance he was going to hold there. Let's go ahead and put this back onto play. And it's getting a little bit framey here just with the amount of bodies that have piled up here. We've got, again, the UR warriors just charging through and challenging my line of spearmasters, but they are holding strong, and I am going to try and countercharge here and lend aid to my beleaguered axes that are surrounded behind enemy lines. There we go. Yes, yes, starting to make some headway. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. I love the kill animations in Total War Attila. Very, very cool. But we've almost locked him in over here, which is excellent. Again, a lot of troops over here, but I'm just funneling more Cacites in to hold the line. And he is quickly running out of infantry, which is a little worrying if you were rooting for the Hunnic attackers. Such a brutal fight here, but I think that the Huns are having the most difficulty getting through my pikemen. Yeah, you can see that they're... Oh, there we go! One of the Cacites being thrown over top of the shoulder of a chosen UR warrior, but you can see that they are having a hard time actually breaking through the pike line. However, when one of my units gets a little bit too far from those pikes, they are slaughtered by the chosen UR warriors. There we go, there we go. Let's zoom out here and take stock of what is going on. 4 minutes left in the battle, and most of the Hunnic army has already been committed. He just has his cavalry and his archers remaining. Now the balance of power looking pretty healthy in my favor, and I do have some reserves still remaining. Got some Nordic spearmasters here. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units, I would say, that have not been engaged. But all of his infantry is engaged. He basically just has cavalry remaining. So things are looking pretty good. I think the Saxons will be able to hold and will be able to drive the Huns off. But again, for how long? The Huns will just come back in greater numbers, to coin the phrase from one Obi-Wan Kenobi. I believe that was Obi-Wan Kenobi. Star Wars fans, if that was not Obi-Wan Kenobi, please don't tear me apart in the comments below, but I think it was Obi-Wan Kenobi that said that. There we go. Pushing more of my Nordic swordsmen into melee against those UR warriors. There we go. I love searching for the duels, kind of the 1v1 duels. Oh my goodness, this guy actually getting a kill on an UR warrior, and before he even falls, the poor Nordic warrior gets a Pila right into his head, and both of them almost fall together. A little bit poetic. Let's go ahead and turn this back onto play. And yeah, I've got my Nordic hurlers up here in a commanding location. I was able to actually if we just put this on slow motion for a second, I was able to actually utilize these walls really well because he actually put a breach here. So the only way he could get up to those hurlers is if he used this causeway, but I have been holding it the entire time, and it's the same on the other side. He would need to get up here using this causeway, but we've been holding it as well. So he's really not had a very good run of luck going after my hurlers, because the hurlers are able to just fire right into the backs of all of these Hunnic units. Let's actually get a little bit of a commanding view from the top of the walls here as the cavalry is committed. Ooh, charging into the backs of his own men there. That is not ideal. It's going to kind of break up the formation a little bit, but I think it's kind of dire and, well, desperate for the White Huns, just trying to overpower with the cavalry and break through on one of my choke points, but the Saxons are holding strong. Fighting just below the walls, and again, the kill animations. That's one thing that I actually don't see very often in Medieval Kingdoms 1212. I'll have to ask if the kill animations have been turned to be less frequent. Oh, there we go, yes. Because in Attila, it seems like they are pretty common. This guy is just on a rampage here. He's up to 2 kills at least that I've been watching. Come on, make it 3. Make it 3, I believe in you. No, the cavalry is trying to block him, I can't see. Oh, he's being pushed back a little bit. Yeah, I don't think he's going to be in range of any other units. Oh, well, at least 2 kills to his name. And look at the chaos here. Oh, my goodness. I think he's committed pretty much all that he has left. Yeah, 2 minutes left in the battle. We've got the Kindred of the Sun riding around, just trying to get some form of morale back into his men. Over here, you can see I'm actually sallying out with my elite Nordic warriors and then flanking the Hunnic horsemen and the chosen UIR warriors. So again, now the defender becomes the attacker here. Some of the chosen UIR warriors holding here. Very desperate. There's no escape now. They're completely surrounded. Come on. Oof. Yeah, they are being slaughtered. And let's see what's going on over here. Oof, yeah, pretty much all of the Hunnic deaths are in this one little corner, so my frames do suffer when I actually zoom out. But yeah, the Kindred of the Sun not looking too hot right now. His morale is dropping quite considerably, and we actually have the Saxon army now free on the other flank, going to just charge in and surround the remaining Hunnic units. We have a desperate sortie from the Hunnic cavalry trying to break through, but there are just too many units, and they are not getting out of here alive. What a battle. A very fast-paced battle, but an excellent battle nonetheless. And I have been meaning to cover this one for quite some time, so I'm really glad that I was able to get it its own replay. So shiny. So shiny, the armor of these UIR warriors. Whoa, this beast actually pushing back like 7 of the units. That was insane. Come on, there you go, yes! Oh no! I was cheering for the wrong one. I thought that was my Nordic warrior getting that kill. But yes, now we have surrounded what little resistance remains of the White Huns. And they are just dropping like flies. There we go, the pikemen being pushed in as well. And there we go, a Pyrrhic victory. Let's go ahead and take a look at the end results. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed that battle as much as I did. Here is the end result screen. So I had 6,000 men, he had about 5,200. So it was about a 800 to 900 men disadvantage for the attacker. But my general actually didn't even see a battle, but most of my other units did. So it was a very close battle, even though it probably didn't look like it. A Pyrrhic victory for sure. Now, a lot of my units are kind of a mixed bag here. Some of my Spearmasters doing alright, some of them not so good. But my pikemen here, the 2 that were holding the line there, 229 and 233, that's very good from a cheap Attila pike unit. And then my Nordic warriors here, some of them getting almost 200 kills. The Gasites, there's the 5 units there, one of them getting 177. But yeah, a lot of my kills were on those Axe Warriors. 185, 168, 158, 140, 245, and 143. They are definitely a good shout, especially in a defending siege. For my Nordic Hurlers, these are the two I think that were able to destroy those UIR warriors in the beginning. So they did some pretty good damage. And then my Lancers, 165, 219, 283, and 190. And a lot of those kills were actually on Spearmen too, so very impressed with them. Looking over at the Zionite Spears, a lot of them pretty low kills because they were attacked early on by cavalry. We have the UIR Warriors here, 144, 100, 123, 103, and 190. So very, very good there. And then the Chosen UIR Warriors, 233, 169, 205, 141, 271. So those were excellent for him. Also, his archers doing really well. We didn't really focus on his archers very much in the battle, but 126, 164, 123, that is very, very good. And then his Hunnic horsemen not doing probably as well as they should have, but, those are his Hunnic cavalry, my bad, but the Hunnic horse archers doing pretty solid, 3 out of the 4 getting over 100 kills. So I hope you enjoyed this battle. I know that Attila battles aren't hugely popular, but I think that they are a great way to kind of just add some variety to the channel, and they're also very fast-paced battles as well. I know that the 12-12 battles are, sometimes an hour plus, but these ones you can usually get done in like 30 to 40 minutes. So let me know if you guys did enjoy it, and if you did, I will look to get some vanilla Attila battles on the channel in the near future. But thank you so much for watching, guys. I really hope you enjoyed. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you'd like to see more content like this in the future. And as always, I will see you in the next one.